Morning everybody, or should I say Happy Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day. How lovely is that? Sunday, Cornwall, sun is bright and happy, it's lovely out there. Do you know what? Clear blue sky. I have to say though, it's the quietest I have ever known. Rightly so, it means you're all staying put where you should be. Ideal, good girls and boys. Hubby's outside doing a bit of DIY, Paul's out there. I have to say, if he gets banging and crashing, I apologise now, because it could be a bit loud. He's doing roofy type things, floors, I don't know. Anyway, hope you all slept well. Have you done your homework? I did mine, as you know. So, story so far. We have one of them and some from others. We have one of them with 2 spares. Yeah, we're saving them because I reckon we can utilise them further down the line. All right, so I'm going to put that to one side. Other example. Now, I'm actually ahead of you lot today. I had thing yesterday, after I finished wittering at you, the joys of internet and all the rest of it, it took about 6 hours or something stupid for yesterday's little video to upload. So while it was doing that, I did today's homework in ahead, so that you've actually got something to copy and have half an idea of what I'm trying to do this time. Okay, so this is our next block. Can you see that? Is it clear yet? This actually relies on colour placement. Okay, little tiddly horrible 1-inch squares, and everyone's going to, oh god, but there's actually quite an easy way of doing that, and I'll show you that in a sec. Okay, so we're going to have lots and lots of rows, well, not lots of rows, 3 rows of 1-inch squares with the 2 tie colours in the middle one and 1 each side. Okay, so how this is done, how we've achieved this, okay, so we've got this line down here, all right, alternated, and then we've got a solid this side which takes one of the tie colours that way, and then we've got a solid line here which takes one of the ties that way. Then we've got more little piddly squares, all right, with the tie colour continuing into that, and this one continuing into that, which is hopefully making it look like a jigsaw or teeth or cogs or whatever. Anyway, they interlink, all right, and then I've put the other odd bits at the end to actually follow those colours through. So a little bit like railways, a little like jigsaws, I don't know, whatever you want to call that one. Haven't got a clue. I just sat and did that yesterday. No doubt there's a similar somewhere, but there we go. Now, how do we get nice, silly, easy little 1-inch squares, all right, in that manner? Now, what I did first was I cut some long strips, all right, 3 colours, the 2 ties and the one that goes in the middle, all right. Now, I did write this down somewhere, and they're 8.5 inches by 1.5 inches. If you can hear strange noises in the background, Tom's just come in, and he's the cat, next door's cat or neighbour's cat, and he's making lots of noises because he wants attention. So I apologise now because he's bound to jump up here any minute. So we cut strips 8.5 inches by 1.5, and then you're going to join those, okay, into 3. I originally cut bigger so that I was figuring out what actually you need to do. So when you're joining these, join 2 together from one end, and then when you join the next one on, join it from the bottom up, all right. This is a bit of a bargello thing, if you've ever done bargello, where we're joining lots of strips. Okay, we start at one end and join bottom up, bottom or top down. It stops your piece of work twisting. When we're machining, happy, we have a habit of a natural slight curve. We all do it. We probably don't even realise we're doing it, and it might only be minuscule, which is absolutely fine for the most part. But if you were to put loads of strips together and you got a little bit going like this, and you start at the top all the time and you're doing this, by the time you've finished, you're like that, which isn't any good for your accuracy, is it? So what we do is we do a little bit like that, and then we come back the other way and we do a little bit like that, and the one counteracts the other, and we get a fabulously straight piece of work. All right, so when you join your strips, you're going to come down with that and back up there. Yeah, lovely. All right, so when you've done that, you then cut off 1.5 inch slices. All right, so little slices. 1.5 is allowing your seam allowance. See, I told you he was going to be up here in a minute. He does love attention. So we're going to do, I apologise, you're getting the butt end. So 1.5 inches includes your seam allowance, all right? So that's really cool. And then you're going to join them because you're going to get like little bits of 3 like that, little bits of 3. So then you're going to join all your little bits of 3 into a nice little strip like that. See, really cool. You're going to have 2 pieces too much on the end of yours to get the length that you want, because we're working aiming at 12.5 inches, so a 12-inch finish when we're really finally done. So you'll find that you're going to have 2 pieces too long. That's fine, just unpick it. All right, so there's all my little 2 pieces. Job done. Right, now, was I useful? No, I wasn't. Do you know what? I forgot to write down the size of these bits. Hang on a minute. Let me just get my ruler out. Doobie doobie doo. Bit of a ruler. Okay, so that's right. So these 2 are 2 inches wide finish. So you're cutting 2.5 inches by 12.5 inches. So the depth. All right. So 2.5 by 12.5. So we've got our nice long little strip in the middle, and we're going one side with our 2 tie colours. Then we're going to go and do the same thing again, but we're going to have just 1 tie colour each side and add in a couple more fabrics, all right, from your scraps. And you're going to repeat the 1 inch square jobby and add them on, all right. How I've done it is that I started with the tie colour next to it at the top there and finished it at the bottom there. And then this side I've done the same thing, tie, tie, okay. So when we've got to this one, I've added it on with one of whichever the odd one, the scrap was, that I'm going to put on this end, all right. And then that one, I didn't do that end. I didn't do that at all. Never mind, I had the yellow in under. Play. I think that's the thing. That could have been a design development that I didn't even know about. All jolly anyway. So these end pieces I've cut at 3 inches, all right. So these are 3. So we've got 8.5 by 1.5, 3 strips, okay. Join your strips, mind your curvy, up and down each way, yeah, jolly. When you've done that, you cut it by 1.5 inches all around, slices, rejoin your slices, okay. So we're getting that right. That's going to be too long. Take off 2 segments. What have I done with that? Oh, there we go. Take off 2 segments, all right. And then that will fit very nicely in between these 2 strips, which are, as I said, they're 2. So you're cutting 2.5 inches wide by 12.5 long, and you're joining them. I've used tie colours. Then you're repeating here and here your 1 inch little do-free squares, all right. And then this one on the end and the other one on the other end, I've cut 3 inches, includes your seam allowance, by 12.5, and added that. I have to say, when I put this together yesterday, I put it down in front of it. Oh, that's looking low. That doesn't look in the slightest square. And I thought, has messed it up, or has messed up. I'm going to have to add a bit on the end. So then I thought, no, maybe I need a bit of creative ironing going on here. So off I've trundled to my ironing board over there, and I'll give it a bit of welly, because actually I want to make what's happened. There's so many little seams in there, it had concertinaed a bit, all right. So I actually gave it a bit of welly, and stretched it back out again, and it's like, oh, that's okay. We're 12.5 by 12.5 or thereabouts. Fabulous. So that one's now ready to go in with all the others. If for any reason it doesn't do quite what you want, not an issue. Put another strip on each end. Ta-da! Across the tops. Whatever. It's patchwork. And patchwork, we forget, is like patches all sewn together. Yeah, all good stuff. So that's your little task for today, tomorrow. All right. I have no idea what I'm going to call that. Railroad? I don't know. Yeah, but that's another block altogether. Do you know what? Names of blocks are difficult. There's so many of them. And so many blocks, depending where you are in the world, have different names, which is all cool, you know. So this is just Abby having a moment with little squares and things, right? So there we are. All my rubbish over there. Okay, so what have we got on the list of to-dos today? So that's your stripies and your whatever done. Have you done your exercise? If not, in a minute, I'm only about 10:30, but you're going to be a lot later by the time you read this. Read this? Look at it, listen to it, watch it, I don't know. So off you go, round the room, bit of tidying, jolly. I've said Happy Mother's Day, and I mean that to all of you out there, lovely ladies, all right? I'm not a mother as such, but I have several adopted different things, including Tom the cat. Maybe that's what you were saying just now. Who knows? So, contact your friends, say hello to them. Is it sun shining where you are? Are you wandering around the garden? That's a brilliant exercise for the day. Sun's out. You know, if you've got that space outside, or if you've got a bit of a balcony or something, go out and say hello to the sunshine if it's out there where you are, because it really is glorious down here. If somewhat very, very quiet. I can now hear a mower in the background, so obviously somebody up the road there is out doing their thing up and down the lawn. Fabulous. Right, so that's friends and relatives and stuff dealt with. Done the Mother Day, done the sunshine, DIY gardening, double snuggle. I did promise you we'd look at this today. So what I've done, sorry, husband's outside with a whopping great ladder with things stuck in his ear, singing very, very badly. So if you can hear that, well, yeah, it's interesting. Right, double snuggle. Can you see? As I said yesterday, this is a free pattern for download on my blog, on my website. Now, my website is abbyann.com. I've stuck a thing up there. I don't know if you can actually see that or not. It's not the best writing, but I've done it really quickly. But if you follow through to abbyann.com, have a look in the blog and look in the archive sections. And I think it goes back as far as June-ish last year. And it starts giving you the details of how to make these different blocks. All right. I believe the first one we did was this one over here, which technically is a 9 patch, except it's done with rectangles instead of squares. And I believe, if I'm right, they're 3.5 by 5.5 to cut. Let me see. Yeah. So we can all do that one really easy, can't we? So we're cutting 9 squares of your choice. And again, this is all scrap and stash and have a bit of a play. And these are cutting 5.5 by 3.5 to finish with a 5 by 3 inch rectangle. Okay. And join them in the same manner that you would a 9 patch basic square. So we're going, well, actually, join it on the shortest, I would, to be totally honest. So I would be joining 1, 2, 3 as a side strip, and then 1, 2, 3 middle, and then joining the 2 together. When you're joining bigger pieces, individuals is easy, isn't it? Because that's all you've got to sew. But when you've got a choice of, do I join it on a long bit or do I join it on a small bit of multi-joins? So when you're putting your quilts together, always do it on the shortest length. You've got less room for things going wrong, if that makes sense. Pin it from the centre. So you would pin your middle squares together in the corners, stretch it, pin it, whatever, and then outside, nesting your seams. And then that will make sure that it all looks lovely with good points. But do it on the shortest length as opposed to the longest length. Less time for it to go wrong whilst you're doing it, basically, is what it comes to. So yeah, we'll have a go at that one as well. All right, girls and boys, I have to say that, and boys. Well, Piggy's having a go here, so I'm up to me 15. So I think you've got 2 wonderful sort of playtime things to do here. None of them either are majorly difficult, really. I don't mind if you swear with the 1 inches, I'll let you. But it should be quite straightforward, really. Yeah, shouldn't be an issue. So, there we go. Happy sewing, everybody. Have a lovely, lovely day. So many things we can be doing, really. And the sunshine. Even if you only go and plug into your nearest window, sit there, have a little look at it, take it all in. Vitamin B, no, vitamin D, that's the one. All good stuff, all right? And do you know what? Sunshine makes us all so much happier. And we could do with a bit of that in a minute, all right? So, happy day. I'm now going to walk around the table. It's going to take me longer because I've come further down the table so that I could get you this in here. Be around there in a sec. Hold on. And we're here. Oh, look, you can see the quilt quite well from there, can't you then? Happy day, everybody.